college football saw the SEC release its annual rivals list last night, and for Georgia, it doesn't look like there's anything wrong at all as the permanent rivals for at least the next 4 years when they can review these teams are Auburn, Florida, and South Carolina. And you start looking at those games, obviously you go home and away. And then you start looking at the rest of the schedule. You know, the biggest thing with the 9-game conference schedule is the one of the cupcake games that everybody was playing goes away. So you get yourself more of a competition when you have these teams coming in. But looking at these teams, the schedule looks pretty good. It looks pretty fun, and it looks like it's getting us into our Bulldog beat.
Let's do it.
The Fan is the official sports talk station of the Dogs.
25-20, far sideline, 15, 10, 5, get in there, touchdown!
And the locker room is on the beat. This is the Bulldogs Beat, presented by Georgia's own credit union, Georgia Pack and Load, and attorney Ken Nugent.
So we get a chance to react to the annual rival list, and Georgia's, it looks pretty good. You start with next year, you know, you got Auburn, Florida, and South Carolina, but then at home, you'll get Missouri, you'll get Vanderbilt, you'll get Oklahoma. That is not a bad home schedule, and you'll get Auburn at home as well. So
those are all teams ranked in the top. What's Missouri right now?
They're in the top 25.
All three of those teams?
Yeah.
Everybody but Auburn.
Right. Damn. I mean, if that thing continues and those teams continue to do what they've done, which is a big if, that's a good schedule. It's not like it doesn't have the pomp and circumstance that this year has, but that is nothing to shake a stick at.
Well, and that's a testament to the teams that you don't expect to be good being good. I mean, Vanderbilt's not a traditional power.
No.
Missouri's not a traditional power. Oklahoma's made their way, although they had terrible news for themselves yesterday. John Mateer, their Heisman leading quarterback with a broken bone in his hand, is going to miss 3 to 4 weeks, which could potentially mean the Red River shootout if he can miss that against Texas. And for Oklahoma, that stinks. Now, they have Kent State. I think I could play quarterback this week against Kent State. It's been over 1,000 days for Kent State since they've beaten a division, like an FBS opponent.
So you look at that, you're out of conference. Obviously, you get Tech every year, so you'll get your 9 SEC opponents and then Georgia Tech. So you have 2 games that will be somebody else, at least, you know, one of the slappies that you get to. But you go to 2027, and you have to go to Florida State. And you will be here in Atlanta for Georgia Tech. And right now, Louisville is on the schedule. I have a feeling, John, that might be removed.
Well, and especially because the ACC is going to a 9-game conference schedule, although they're going to mandate what their mandate is the same as the SEC, 9-game conference schedule, and then they're going to be mandated to play another Power 4 opponent. You're not going to play 3 Power 4 opponents on top of an SEC schedule. I just can't see going to Tech, to Louisville, or to FSU, and then home against Louisville. Louisville, nice knowing you. Well, actually, it's not nice knowing you because we don't know you at all.
Well, in 28, so you got Florida State in Tallahassee in 2027, and then they come to Athens in 2028 for the home, and then you see Clemson at Clemson in 2029. We don't even know that far down the road. Is Dabo Swinney going to even be there? That could be a totally different scenario between Georgia and Clemson.
Here's what I'm going to do. You look at this, the committee looks at the paper and goes, yeah, your strength of schedule is great. Georgia never is going to have to argue about strength of schedule. Like they're the type team that, especially when it expands to 16, God forbid they ever had a 3-loss season, they're still getting in when you play this kind of schedule.
So the opponents reveal looks pretty good to start next year for the Georgia Bulldogs. And now we'll see what they have ready for Alabama. Yesterday, Cellini and Domino had a chance to catch up with Aaron Taylor, and he had some pretty interesting thoughts on UGA and Bama hooking up at Sanford Stadium.
It's really interesting, man. Georgia just don't get beat at home. It doesn't matter who comes in there. They find a way to win, and they're scrappy. And give Kirby Smart a lot of credit. He used the preseason of weeks, 0 through 2 to get ready for those first 3 games, to get ready for Tennessee, and he passed those tests. So what's interesting to me in this game is that this is the first time in a long time that neither of these offensive lines or run games are a core part of the team. So it's going to be interesting to see whose offensive line can stand up. Neither of these defenses are as good as we've seen in a long time. So both of these secondaries, though, will be tested with throw games. So it might look a little bit different than we've seen.
He's right. I just think it's spot on analysis because you don't have the monster depth for either program that you used to have because of the transfer portal and just how college football is changing. And then we've seen both teams not look like they traditionally do with the explosive plays that Georgia gave up against Tennessee and then the issues that Alabama is having as well. I mean, this could be a very interesting and eye-opening game with, big plays being made potentially by both teams.
Yeah, don't sleep on Alabama. It was a sloppy, and I heard Kirby talk about it. He really didn't get a chance to dive into the Alabama-Florida State game until last week because they were playing at the same time when that game took place, I think. And the more he watched it, the more he realized that the weather played a huge factor. Sloppy game, rain, kind of slippery field, just couldn't really get their footing underneath them. And obviously the first game of the year for those guys where they were just trying to find their footing. So he has been very impressed with Kalen DeBoer and what Alabama's done in the last couple games. I'm just telling you.
Okay, well,
they're not good. Alabama's not good.
I didn't say they're not good, but I missed me with the impress what you did against Louisiana Monroe and Wisconsin. Wisconsin's terrible. Their coach is about to get fired as well.
You fire everybody, man.
I'm not firing him. Did I not say Mike Gundy was going to get whacked yesterday? And he did get whacked. Said the same thing about Brent Pry, and Deshaun Foster did his own thing, but I'm not saying Alabama's not good. I don't want to hear that it was a sloppy field. Florida State played on the same sloppy field. I don't want to hear it was the first game of the season. Florida State had a new offensive coordinator, a new quarterback, and a bunch of new pieces. They whooped Alabama's ass up front. And if Georgia can play with that same physicality, they're going to win this game. That's all I'm saying.
I watching that Alabama game, I can understand Kirby's sentiment.
I'm just talking to you about what Kirby said. Don't yell at me.
Yeah, and I understand what he was saying, breaking it down from his coaching eyes.
Plus he doesn't want his team to get all out of shape that this team is a pushover.
And you want to give credit for, Alabama certainly being embarrassed by a loss and not acting like that's an easy win for you. But his coaching eyes and some fan eyes are different. The fan eyes, they just got their tails kicked.
Maybe Georgia just rolls. Georgia's going to...
Look, if they roll, it'll be an awesome situation if they can roll Alabama. But no doubt Alabama's going to play better than they did against FSU. But I don't want to hear slippery field in first game when you're playing a team that came off 2-10 season. Their quarterback called you out the entire summer and said we're going to whoop you, and then whooped you.
Well, Aaron Taylor went on to say that what we saw in that version of Alabama is a sign of the times of what's going on in college football.
What separated the SEC, and in particular these two teams, from all others in the country have been the lines of scrimmage. But I think what I'm most interested to see isn't necessarily the X's and O's, but to me, this game highlights the fact that college football is changing. We've now got a higher floor, meaning the Vanderbilts of the world are starting to emerge because they have an opportunity to go get the type of players they need. But where are they getting those players from, right? So we're also seeing a lower ceiling. And instead of Georgia and Alabama sitting on these first-round draft picks that are true sophomores that are playing, 12 snaps a game, those dudes are now starters in other programs, and their depth and overall talent level is diminished because it's been diluted.
He's spot on with that. That is the state of college football, the free agency, if you will, that transfer portal access allows players and coaches. And so we have injuries like Georgia early in the season to the right side of the line. You don't just automatically have another 4 or 5, 2 5-stars waiting just to slide in there, and there are no problems at all. You have to, manage your roster and figure some things out when injury does show up.
Yeah, but guess what? Everybody else has to do it as well.
Sure.
Like the days of stacking 5 stars in a row are gone. Now, it'll be interesting as the scholarship limit goes up. I think it goes to 105 at the end of this year.
That is awesome for kids and young athletes, man.
Absolutely. But I think it's also going to lead to even more hysteria in the portal. Because now you're going to go, well, there's 20 extra spots here. I might want to go over there. And then if I don't like it there, I'm going to go over here. It's great for the kids because I think it's going to help high school recruiting. A lot of these 3-star kids that are kind of getting pushed by the wayside where they wouldn't be. Now maybe they get a spot to go in and develop. But I don't know that you could stack players ever again.
I was talking to Oscar Delpstad at a graduation party this last, I guess it was going into summer. And his youngest son, I think it is, trying to get recruited out of high school. And it's a nightmare.
Right.
Because all the coaches in schools aren't really looking to high school seniors anymore as opposed to transfer portal and everything else going on.
Well, the top 7 transfer portal classes during this offseason, they're undefeated. Top 7.
So schools like
LSU.
Yeah.
A
Florida
lot of
State,
transfers. You talk about
Miami.
the total number, the schools that
just
lead in transfer.
The highest ranked transfer portal classes, they're undefeated.
Well,
and you're talking about teams that are inside the top 25 and way up there. That to me lets you know you better get your portal situation right.
Well, it's free agency.
Dabo.
Yeah,
Not
it's free
there.
agency like
Wake
Dabo.
up.
Yeah, if there are good players available, why would you not go and try to get them in your program?
Here's your top
Yeah,
7
give 'em to
portal
me.
classes. Number 1, LSU, undefeated, ranked 3rd. Number 2, Texas Tech, undefeated. Number 3, Miami, undefeated. Number 4, Ole Miss, undefeated. Number 5, Oregon. Number 6, Florida State. Number 7, Missouri. So, do these teams all recruit well? Some of them do. Like Oregon's a top 5 recruiting team. LSU's top 5. Miami's top 10. Florida State has their moments. Ole Miss and Missouri and Texas Tech don't really recruit the same way. But guess what? They went and got ready-made players. And I watched Texas Tech this past week. They might be the class of the Big 12 and be a college football playoff participant if their quarterback is back healthy.
That is recruiting. That's recruiting
100%.
too. What you do when you're not in the portal, and then there's a second phase, how you recruit guys from the portal. And then you know what? There's nothing wrong with being a portal school either, especially if it's going to give you an opportunity to be in a conference championship game or a chance to be a college football playoff team.